Today we're going to be looking at the Diamond Select Pacific Rim Uprising Saber Athena action figure. The sleekest and most elegant Jaeger ever created, Saber Athena is the fastest in the fleet, wielding twin blades in hyper-acrobatic combat. Quickly grabbing the tape measure, let's figure how tall Saber Athena is. The figure is a little bit smaller than the previously looked at Gypsy Avenger. The figure, if you technically count the back antennas, is roughly 8¼ inches, but if you want to go right to the head, the figure's only about 7½ inches. In fact, for some scale comparisons, we'll move over a Saber Athena and bring in a chainsaw-wielding Gypsy Avenger, which we just previously looked at in the last video. Yes, unfortunately, still having problems with the loose legs, the loose knees. But you can see how Saber Athena is quite a bit smaller. Maybe about 2 heads or a head and a half smaller than the previously looked at Avenger. For her accessories, she doesn't come with as many as Gypsy Avenger came with. Comes with a relaxed palm and comes with a gripping hand. Now, technically, you can get the same effect happening because the figure itself also is currently wielding the other mirrored half of that. So, in actual fact, you get yourself 2 slightly relaxed or dynamic hands and 2, if I not drop it, 2 gripping hands. And simply just swapping them out. Grab the forearm here, pop the hand out via the much smaller pegs, and find the hand that you want to replace it to. I'm going to go ahead and swap them both, or at least swap the one so that both are duplicates to, or somewhat duplicates to one another. Those are the gripping hands. Because the other accessories to come included is a broader, almost katana-like blade, decked out in what I can only describe and frequently describe as gunmetal gray, and nice little accent areas of light up blue, little blue panels here. This is the broader of the swords. She does also come with some smaller swords as well, which if you compare it to the broader sword or the katana sword, they are much smaller. Lining them up, they're about 2/3 the length of the broader sword. They fit very easily into her hand. And even the smaller blades, which I thought might have given more problem because of the smaller nature of the handles, also fit, if not sliding through, also fit into the hand as well. We'll go ahead and fit that in place like so. You probably saw it as well. If you put the handle in too far, it basically slides right through the hand, but you can see it does give a good grip to the smaller blade, and it gives you some options available as to how you want to display the figure. And retrieving the sword, we can put that to the side. I think also what I would like to do is display the figure with the sword in hand, and also in case you are wondering, you can take both hands if you want to use one single powerful swing. You can accomplish that with Saber Athena. She does actually fit both hands around the handle of the sword. Having a look at the figure itself, one thing that caught my eye both in the design and equally so the figure release from Diamond was the color. One of my favorite colors growing up was orange, so getting an orange mech robot is very cool indeed, and actually, not to the credit of Diamond, because Diamond simply have just translated this to plastic form, but I have to say that the orange really pops well against the backdrop here of the silver-like gunmetal color, the gunmetal gray there. The head sculpt is rather interesting. I do really like the head sculpt quite a bit. I thought that these little panels, these little antennae could move up, but that's actually not the case. However, the case is that you can move the back panels. They are separate from the shoulders, so if you want to have them brought a little further down while still moving the shoulders independently, you can actually do that. I say that, but ultimately I do like the antennas being straight up there. In fact, looking at it from the front, I preferred actually having the antennas more visible there. But the coloring and paint, to their credit, Diamond Select delivers again here with the Saber Athena. Really loving the look of the figure. Very sleek, a much sleeker, more feminine design Jaeger than, again, what we looked at with Gypsy Avenger. Gypsy Avenger is very big, bulky, and still has more the sleek design, I think, than the original Pacific Rim figures or Pacific Rim design robots. But I have to think that, or I have to say that, like, Pacific Rim Uprising had much more feminine looking, sleeker looking robots. And I really do like this one quite a bit, actually. It doesn't seem to have as well the problems that I had with the Gypsy Avenger. The legs are loose, I have to say that, but they're not nearly as loose as the problems I had with the Gypsy Avenger. In fact, again, we'll put Athena right there for a second and bring in Gypsy Avenger. I really do want to fix, I think, the leg joints here. It's such a shame because I love this figure that the legs are giving me as many problems as they are. If you keep the feet planted firmly, the figure doesn't have any problems where it's not going to topple over, but it is very apparent that the legs, not even so much forward and back, but actually more so just left, like hinging out, seems to be the bigger problem. And luckily Athena doesn't have that. A little on the loose side, but not nearly to the level that Pacific Gypsy Avenger, I should say, had. So we'll just move that one out of the way because we've already had a look at that one. Above and beyond simply just the orange paint application, I don't know if you can see it, but there's almost this slight hinting of like a brushed silver that's been added to the shoulder pads, the torso area, basically anywhere where this orange is. And amongst that is this flecked paint. It's almost as if they just took a paintbrush and flecked it and flicked it across it, because you've got these little kind of speckling marbled effects that are added to the plastic, which I do actually quite like. It gives it that sense of wear. It's not a pristine looking metal, nor should it be. And it actually works quite well here. And still, you get that little bit of silver that we were talking about earlier that happens up here. Carries also down here as well. Small little details have been painted in there as well, like little painted white lines. Areas also around the metal here. You can start seeing that there are some additional, I guess these are lights, as well as lights up at the top area here. The figure obviously doesn't light up, but they've conveyed that at least by painting those areas in white. So like the eyes do have a light up look to them, as well could be said for the torso area here. These little fins and stuff like that. It's really hard to review figures without going the route of just simply saying, well, I love the design, because really the design didn't start and stop with the toy company. The toy company simply has taken the designs that were made in the movie and translated it well to plastic. It's not always successful, and I have to say that this one's rather successful. I like the design, which lays more heavily to the design studio, the design team that came up with these initial creations. But to the testament of Diamond Select, I do think that the figure translates well from those designs to essentially what we're getting right here. Digging the orange, though. I really do like the orange quite a bit. She does have peg holes on the undersides of her feet. I don't actually have a stand readily available. Oh, maybe I do. Maybe I do. I have a display stand on the side here. It seems to take a standard peg that if you want to fit the foot into, although you do have to kind of wiggle the peg and get screechy, squeaky, creaky sounds. But the figure does have the means to at least be on a display stand. The figure doesn't come with a display stand, nor really does the figure require a stand. I don't have the problems that I had with Avenger. Like I said, Saber Athena stands perfectly fine. Poseability on this one. The head rotates all the way around. As you are moving the head, you may have it fighting against the shoulders, which, much like Gypsy Avenger, are ball jointed in. The ball joints seem broader, and it seems like the socket is smaller, that the shoulder pads stay in place. I don't have as much the issue where the shoulder pads are popping off on me. The arms hinge outward, as well as you can rotate the arms all the way around. A swiveling on the top area, essentially where it's connecting to the universal joint there. There's a swivel happening up there. You get the single hinge happening in the elbow and the rotation in the hands. Upper torso ball joint, a very glorious range of motion you can get happening here in the upper torso. Legs split out, forward and back on the legs, bend at the knee, and it actually looks only as if there's a one single hinge on the knee. It doesn't look like there's a double hinge happening here. And for those who enjoy the ankle rocker, you get a sufficient amount happening here, and a hinge up and down also on Saber Athena's foot here. Saber Athena benefits from having all the pros that the previously looked at Gypsy Avenger had, and not the cons. The only real con being the loose legs and loose knees that plagued Gypsy Avenger. Doesn't seem to be the case here with Saber Athena. She's a nice smaller, sleeker looking design Jaeger to the previously looked at Avenger. And I really do like the design of it, especially liking the orange, but I've always been a big fan of orange in general. It's a really nice design looking figure, and it still has all the posability that you can get her in some pretty cool looking poses, just not the loose legs, unfortunately, that Gypsy Avenger already had. If you are interested in picking up both the Gypsy Avenger and now the looked at Saber Athena, they should be now available in comic book stores should you wish to add this to your collection. If you also want to head over to Diamond Select's YouTube channel, I'll put the link down below. It will also be my homepage, so you guys can head over and get a first glimpse look at some of the upcoming releases before they hit store shelves. We're going to have a look at the Bracer Phoenix. Kind of just gave it away, but you probably already knew where that was going. We're going to have a look at Bracer Phoenix in the next review, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you had a chance to pick up Saber Athena or Gypsy Avenger, let me know in the comments section what you think of these figures. More videos will be coming your way, guys. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button also below this video so you'll never miss a beat when it comes to future videos coming onto this channel. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.